Sidwell is an evil Cassadine, using Ava to take over Cassadine's assets. General Hospital spoilers. Sidwell had always been a man of ambition, but his ambitions weren't ordinary. They were colossal, insidious, and meticulously calculated. A shadowy figure who had quietly built his empire in the dark corners of the business world, Sidwell had long admired the power and wealth of the Cassadine family from afar. The Cassadines, a dynasty known for their riches and ruthlessness, represented everything Sidwell desired. But he didn't just want their fortune. He wanted their legacy. And for that, he needed a plan, one that involved the fiery and complex Ava Jerome. Ava had always been a survivor. She had weathered storms that would have broken lesser people, emerging stronger and more cunning each time. Her beauty and charm were weapons she wielded with precision, but beneath her glamorous exterior was a woman who had suffered betrayals, losses, and heartbreak. She had her own reasons to distrust the Cassadines, particularly Nicholas. His constant manipulation and the secrets that seemed to follow him like a shadow had left her weary, yet she remained entangled in the web of their family drama. Sidwell's entry into Ava's life was no accident. He had studied her, learned her vulnerabilities, and crafted a persona that would appeal to her. He presented himself as a man of integrity, someone who understood her struggles and appreciated her resilience. Over time, he became a confidant, a source of comfort in her turbulent world. Ava, always cautious but craving stability, began to trust him. It was a trust Sidwell planned to exploit to the fullest. The Cassadine estate was Sidwell's ultimate prize. He knew that taking it by force or overt deception would be impossible. The family's resources and connections were too vast, their defenses too strong. But Ava was his key. Through her, he could infiltrate their inner circle and dismantle their empire piece by piece. He began by planting seeds of doubt in Ava's mind about her place in the Cassadine world. "They'll never truly accept you," Sidwell would say during their private conversations. "You're an outsider, Ava. To them, you'll always be a threat, not an ally." Ava, who had long felt like an interloper in the Cassadine family, found herself agreeing with him. Nicholas's erratic behavior and the constant scheming of the other Cassadines only reinforced Sidwell's words. Slowly, she began to see Sidwell as her ally in a world that seemed determined to undermine her. Sidwell's next move was to sow discord within the Cassadine family. He orchestrated a series of events designed to create chaos and mistrust. Anonymous tips led to investigations into the family's business dealings. Confidential documents mysteriously found their way into the hands of competitors. Sidwell's machinations were subtle, leaving no trace of his involvement, but the damage was undeniable. The Cassadines, already prone to infighting, began to turn on each other. Ava, caught in the crossfire, found herself increasingly reliant on Sidwell. He was always there with a reassuring word, a plan to counter the latest crisis, or a shoulder to lean on. She began to see him as her partner, someone who could help her navigate the treacherous waters of the Cassadine world. And that was exactly what Sidwell wanted. "You deserve better than this," he told her one evening as they shared a bottle of wine in her penthouse. "You're stronger than all of them combined. With the right strategy, you could take control of their empire and finally have the power and respect you've always deserved." Ava hesitated. The idea of taking on the Cassadines was daunting, but Sidwell's words resonated with her. She had spent years fighting for scraps of power and recognition, always feeling like she was one step away from losing everything. The thought of finally being in control was intoxicating. "How would we do it?" she asked, her voice tinged with both curiosity and trepidation. Sidwell smiled, sensing victory. "Leave that to me. All I need is your trust." With Ava's tentative agreement, Sidwell set his plan into motion. He began by leveraging Ava's position within the Cassadine family. Using her access to their financial records, he uncovered hidden accounts and questionable transactions that could be used to destabilize their holdings. At the same time, he worked to isolate Ava from the rest of the family, ensuring that she saw him as her only ally. Sidwell's manipulation was masterful. He played on Ava's insecurities and desires, painting a picture of a future where she was the undisputed queen of the Cassadine Empire. He even went so far as to stage moments of vulnerability, allowing Ava to believe that she was the one helping him. It was a delicate balance, but Sidwell was a master of his craft. Meanwhile, the Cassadines were reeling. Nicholas, always the schemer, was distracted by his own problems, including his strained relationship with Spencer and the lingering consequences of his past actions. Victor, ever the patriarch, was too focused on his grand plans to notice the subtle shifts in the family dynamics, and the others were too consumed by their own agendas to see the bigger picture. As Sidwell's plan progressed, Ava began to assert herself more boldly within the Cassadine family. She used the information Sidwell provided to challenge their authority and demand a greater share of power. Her transformation was remarkable, and for a time, it seemed as though she might actually succeed in taking control. But Ava was no fool. She couldn't shake the nagging feeling that Sidwell's motivations weren't entirely altruistic. One evening, as they celebrated another victory over the Cassadines, Ava confronted him. "Why are you helping me, really?" she asked, her eyes searching as for answers. Sidwell's smile faltered for a moment, but he quickly recovered. "Because I believe in you, Ava. You've been underestimated your entire life, and I want to see you get what you deserve." It was a carefully crafted response, but Ava wasn't entirely convinced. She began to quietly investigate Sidwell, using the same cunning and resourcefulness that had served her so well in the past. What she discovered shocked her. Sidwell's empire was built on a foundation of lies, manipulation, and betrayal. He had a history of using people to achieve his goals, discarding them once they were no longer useful. Realizing that she was just another pawn in his game, Ava decided to turn the tables. She began feeding Sidwell false information, leading him to believe that she was still under his spell. At the same time, she worked to rebuild her alliances within the Cassadine family, carefully positioning herself as a unifying force rather than a threat. The final showdown came during a high-stakes meeting at Windermere. Sidwell, believing that he was on the verge of achieving his ultimate goal, revealed his true intentions. He declared his plan to take over the Cassadine Empire, using Ava as his puppet. But Ava was ready. "You underestimated me, Sidwell," she said, her voice cold and steady. "You thought I was just another pawn in your game, but you forgot one thing. I'm a Jerome. And we don't go down without a fight." With the help of the Cassadines, who had finally come together in the face of a common enemy, Ava exposed Sidwell's schemes and orchestrated his downfall. In the end, it was Sidwell who lost everything, his carefully constructed empire crumbling around him. As she watched him being led away in handcuffs, Ava felt a sense of vindication. She had faced betrayal and manipulation, but she had emerged stronger, smarter, and more determined than ever. The Cassadine Empire was still standing, but it was Ava who now held the reins, proving once and for all that she was a force to be reckoned with.